Hi, it's Ed Kaminsky with the Kaminsky Real Estate Group, and I'm excited to be here today with Phil Norman to learn a little bit about design. And Phil, why don't you tell us the name of your company and how long you've been in the business?
Okay, great. Well, thanks for having me. Norman Design Group. My name is Phil Norman, and we have an interior design firm that does both interior architecture and interior decorating. So we're the classic mix of both the structure and the decoration, layering each other in nice harmony, and we've been doing it for 23 years.
That's a tough combo to think about, because there is a lot that goes into the interior choices of where you put things. So, I mean, tell me a little bit about that on the architectural side. What are you looking for when you're looking at, is it plans or?
Well, we start with the architect early, and we look for really good bones and really good flow. So we will, when we get the architectural plans, we'll actually put furniture into the room so the homeowner can actually see how the rooms scale out and what those rooms can actually hold, and may have an end result for their family. And at that point, then we're layering ceiling designs, cabinetry, fireplace, symmetrical lines, sight lines, making sure windows align with furniture, seating. So again, you kind of got to start with the architecture, the interior architecture, but you have to have the end result in mind so that when you're all done, everything again acts in harmony.
But there's been a big trend I've noticed in the last, I'd say at least 5 or 6 years, where homeowners are really tackling the construction of a new home themselves from beginning to end, where previous to that it was mostly spec builders building the homes, people just come in at the end and pick some paint colors and they're done. Now, have you noticed that same trend where there's more people building their own homes?
We have definitely, especially in South Bay, and I think in California in general. It's such a multicultural environment here in the state of California that people are traveling, they're getting exposed to unique hotels, just experiences themselves. So they want to bring some of that specialness that they've had maybe on a trip and have it in their everyday lives. So then therefore they may want to build their own custom, unique home that's special to them and not just finishes that someone else chose.
What is the hottest trend right now? What's a current trend or a hot trend in design that people would want to know about?
We do a lot of homes for families, so they may have younger kids or just real life homes, animals, dogs, kids, and they're living the active lifestyle that a lot of us Southern Californians do. So I think we're looking for something that looks really nice, but also has a certain level of maintenance. And I think that comes in fabrics, of which we're working with a lot of outdoor fabrics on the interior. There happens to be one company called Perennials that we really like, that you would never know it's an outdoor fabric. If you put it on your sofa and your kid wipes popsicle or jelly on it, you can use bleach and water and wipe this down and essentially keep going and not be worried about it. Another interesting material out there that's not related to decoration, it goes on top of countertops, and it's called Dry Treat, and it's one of the best sealer that's been out there for a long time. So now the marbles that are so popular right now and the limestones that are so popular, we're not really doing any granites, which happen to be a really hard material, but we're using these softer materials that usually sometimes does create a little nervousness in people. But if you treat it with this Dry Treat material, it's really opened up a lot of avenues for us for materials on kitchen countertops, bathrooms that we haven't been able to use before as successfully anyway.
What is the trend away from granite? Do you have any explanation for that?
It's a little busier than what we are designing homes right now. We're designing homes that are peaceful, tranquil, clean, fresh, and a lot of granites out there are just, the Juparanas especially, they're just wild and they have a lot of motion to them. And I think they just kind of ran their course. They're usually a little heavier. If we do use a granite, we try to find the one that got the tightest material allocation to it, and then sometimes we'll hone that, and that calms it down. So granite's not completely out, but it's been a long time since I've done a granite.
Well, and like everything else, I'm sure it'll come back. Like the wallpaper of the 70s, it went away for so long, it seems to be back as well. Are you using more paper on wall today?
Wallpaper, definitely. Yeah. Again, kind of just talking about hot materials out there. Philip Jeffries happens to be one of our favorite wall covering lines. They're known for creating really interesting pattern on non-textured backgrounds, and they continue to add hundreds of SKUs every year, and that really keeps the designers interested in their line, and it's great for the end user because it offers something other than just a flat dimensioned wall. So
right. I assume you can help with that.
Absolutely. And I think we're really good editors. We ask people to come in with their ideas, but often they'll come in with a big book or a ton of stack of images, and we just have to say, okay, that's a really cool idea, but you've got 10 other cool ideas, so we need to pick two and go with it, because otherwise they're going to compete against each other.
What do you feel would be the most misunderstood thing about designers, or why you hire a designer, in your opinion?
When you're going to tackle a remodel or a new home construction, there's a lot of expense that you're already incurring, and to layer a designer on top of it, I would think if you're the homeowner, it would be one more thing well, I don't need one. It's only going to add cost to the project. And I know that's what I probably would feel if I didn't do what I do, but knowing and going through the process, I know that we can help save the client a ton of money by picking the right things at the right time. If you think designers cost a lot of money, try fixing all the problems that you might have made if you weren't guided along the way.
Great point. Yeah.
We're exposing you to all those unique things that you want to see in your home. So you really have your hand held the entire time along the process.
So I think to shortcut it, they're writing you a check, but they're going to end up saving money, possibly.
Quite possibly.
Certainly be happier.
It would be happier. I always kind of joke with clients we're less than half of sales tax as far as our fees on a typical project. So I think we're worth it.
Well, good. So on that note, why don't you just describe what you feel is your best customer? I mean, who are you trying to help or find in the marketplace?
Our best customer is someone who wants to do something unique, interesting, wants to be pushed a little bit outside their comfort zone, doesn't want necessarily to do what everyone else is doing. I'd say perfect world for us, two working professionals that trust in professionals and want to be led, and again, trust. It always ends up with the best end result. You're
based here in Southern California. Do you ever leave this marketplace? Do you go anywhere else to do work?
We do. Quite often we'll follow a client to their second home, vacation home. Quite recently it's taken us to Scottsdale and in a small project in Kauai, kind of slowly renovating a project there on the beach. So we'll go where a good match and a good relationship wants us to go. So we're open.
This is Ed Kaminsky with the Kaminsky Real Estate Group. Phil, thanks for spending the time with us this afternoon.
Thanks for having me, Ed.
You got it.